At least 16 killed in Russian missile strike on shopping center packed with 1,000 people that sparked devastating blaze. At least 16 people have been killed after Russian missiles blitzed a Ukrainian shopping center with more than 1,000 civilians inside. Vladimir Putin's latest atrocity has been condemned as a crime against humanity, with fears the number of victims is impossible to imagine after the blast sparked a devastating blaze. Dozens have been feared dead after the missile strike. Cover images. Volodymyr Zelensky said 1,000 people were inside. British Prime Minister Boris Johnson has hit out at Putin's cruelty and barbarism following the attack, which has left at least 16 people dead and more than 50 injured, with the number of victims expected to rise. It comes as NATO announced plans to deploy well over 300,000 troops to deter Russia in the biggest shake-up of its forces since the Cold War. 2 rockets slammed into a crowded mall in the city of Kremenchuk this afternoon, leaving many civilians trapped inside and scores injured. Horrifying videos show the entire Amster shopping center in flames as firefighters battle the inferno. People are seen gathered outside watching the horrifying scene unfold as shots and screams can be heard. And other footage shows people escaping from the shopping mall as they flee the blaze. President Zelensky: there were at least 1,000 people inside at the time of the assault. They said, "We stand united with Ukraine in mourning the innocent victims of this brutal attack. Indiscriminate attacks on innocent civilians constitute a war crime." Zelensky warned the number of victims is impossible to imagine. Regional Governor Dmytro Lenin confirmed at least 16 people were killed in the attack, with more than 50 injured. Paramedics could be seen treating victims as they battled through the thick gray smoke. The occupiers fired missiles at a shopping center where there were over 1,000 civilians. "The number of victims is impossible to imagine," Zelensky wrote on Telegram. The city's mayor said earlier there was an unknown number of dead and wounded in the attack on the very crowded place. People escaped the massive smoke cloud billowing from the mall. Firefighters battled the blaze which left people trapped inside. Reuters. Dmytro Lenin, head of Poltava Regional Administration, said, "Missile strike on a shopping mall with people in Kremenchuk is yet another military crime by the Russians." Meanwhile, Boris Johnson has said the attack on Kremenchuk showed the depths Putin would sink to. He said, "This appalling attack has shown once again the depths of cruelty and barbarism to which the Russian leader will sink." And predictably, Russia has already accused Ukraine of faking the attack, just as it did over allegations of rape and massacres in Bucha. People are seen after fleeing from the shopping center. It is just the latest strike carried out by Putin's forces against defenseless civilians in Ukraine, with hospitals, schools and homes destroyed throughout his barbaric invasion. Russia is feared to be using indiscriminate bombing tactics to terrify civilians and attempt to force Ukraine into submission. It comes as Putin's invasion stalled, with Russian generals initially believing they could conquer the country within hours. Ukraine is putting up a valiant resistance, but they face the massive military force of the much larger Russia. It comes as NATO is to deploy more than 300,000 troops in a showdown with Russia in what will be the biggest force since the Cold War. The sharp increase in high readiness troops comes in response to Russia's invasion of Ukraine, who are not a member of NATO. G7 leaders said they would keep sanctions on Russia for as long as necessary and intensify international pressure on Putin and his ally Belarus.